Hi, this is Cheryl with the Cut at Home design team. I'm going to apologize in advance for the photography today because I'm trying to show you two of my favorite paper trimmers, all in the same shot, and they're pretty big. What I have here today is the Cutterpillar Pro and the Cutterpillar Crop. They're both wonderful, wonderful rotary paper trimmers. They're newly available on the Cut at Home site. You definitely want to check these out. My favorite feature of both is they have lovely lighted areas for cutting, so you can absolutely see what you're cutting. Hopefully you can see the light strip here. It's actually very, very bright, so it's very, very easy to see through and see what you're cutting. Now the Cutterpillar Pro, the one over here, has a full 13-inch platform actually, so you can cut that 12 by 12 paper, have it all here. It's got wonderful markings every ½ inch and ¼ inch so that you can line up from top to bottom on a 12 by 12 and see exactly what you're cutting. So no more crazy cuts. I know I have many of those myself where I don't quite get things straight. I think they're lined up, but I didn't quite get it. This has a solid line along the area where you're cutting at a ½ inch, and it has a dash line where you're cutting for a ¼ inch. So super easy to see. It's got markings down to the 1/16 of an inch. So if you're cutting an 1/8 inch or smaller, you can just sort of split the difference on your ¼ inch. You can see how to line things up. Super, super easy. Now, one of the things people have complained about with the Cutterpillars is inability to see the markings, because they're just like what you see here on the tray. It's just etched into the plastic. So people who have a little bit of vision problem do have some trouble seeing and reading numbers. And I should mention, by the way, it has the full inch calibration up here as well as metrics down here, so whichever you use, it's going to handle both. Cutterpillar suggests a method for bringing these lines out a little bit more. They use black paint, like a black acrylic or toll paint, and a stencil brush to just small sections at a time brush that paint in, and then you see the black, very nice contrast with what's going on. I'm a little bit on the lazy side. I went for a simpler solution. I brought a product by ThermoWeb. It's called Press and Stick ruler. So it's just 12-inch ruler. It's a roll of tape, but it's got 12-inch rulers, one right after the other. And so I've stuck those. They're fully removable, so if you decide you don't want them, you can take them back off. But I've stuck them here to the top of the registry, being careful to match exactly with the Cutterpillar line so that I get a good measurement there. What I've done is I've gone from 1 to 10 inches, and then I start over again at 1. Again, the rulers go all the way up to 12 inches. If you stop at 10, you don't really have to do math, because once you hit the 2, you know you're at 12 inches. If I went all the way to 12 inches and then started over again, I might have to add things together, and it might be a bit of a challenge. So that was a super easy way. I'll put information on the Cut at Home website on exactly the product that I used. It's very readily available. I purchased it at Hobby Lobby. It's available at Walmart. It's available on Amazon, so lots of different places where those kinds of supplies are stored. Now I want to focus in a little bit more on the Cutterpillar Crop. This one has just the actually it's a 6½ inch platform, so you've already got a really good cutting surface. For those of us who do card making, it's more than enough for most of the cuts that we do. So same as before, we've got the nice markings throughout, so pretty easy registry, easy to line up. When I want to cut wider paper, sorry, my tape was not really quite wide enough to hold both, I just swing out the arm and the measurements continue on down there all the way up to almost 18 inches. So you can really cut a wide piece of paper on the Cutterpillar Crop, but it's much more compact easier to take on crops. I love the way these things cut with a rotary cutting system. It's just easy as pie. You just slide this against the blade and slide it on up your paper. The blades, there's no more blade replacing. Blades have a lifetime warranty, so if you ever experience difficulty with your blades becoming dull or something like that, you return it to Cutterpillar and they send you a brand new one. So no more purchasing them every month, every couple of months to feed that crazy paper trimmer monster. I love that about this. Again, cutting can't be easier. I cut a whole pile of stuff this afternoon for a class coming up on Thursday. I had no problem whatsoever. You just want to hold your paper in place, like I said, and slide this along to make those cuts. Super, super easy. Beautiful cuts. It's really made to work with lighter weight cardstocks. You can cut several layers at a time, so 2 or 3. You don't want to jam this full, otherwise you can do some damage to the blade mechanism and that sort of thing. But 2 or 3 layers will cut beautifully at a time. It's consistent, it's perfect. I just absolutely love that. Now this is not your paper trimmer for chipboards and heavier weight materials like that, plastics and other sorts of things. Make sure you have another source because that will over time damage this mechanism. They're fairly lightweight plastic. The one thing you do not want to do is lift it by this bar. That again is going to throw off the registry and the mechanism over time, so you'll do damage to your machine. This is a precision instrument. With all of our paper crafting things, it's a good idea to make an investment in something that will ease your burden a whole lot, and this is one of those things. I love the precision cuts. I've never had an easier time cutting mounds of paper with something than I have with these 2 trimmers. They've been absolutely beautiful. So you have to consider, what do I have space for? I'm going to try and slide back my bigger version here for just a minute. It's actually got a storage drawer on the side. We'll see if we can get it on camera. It will hold a little bit of 12 by 12 paper, and then it's got this little well in here where you could store some scissors and some other types of tools. It is going to take up a lot of space on your countertop or desktop, that sort of thing. So you have to consider, what do I have space for within my craft room? I have limited space, but I have some cubes that have shelves on them. So my thought is to just place this in the cube on the shelf and pull it out when I need it, just like I would any other machine or tool or something like that. Of course, the crop is perfect for taking with you on crops and that sort of thing. Again, because of the sensitivities in the machine, they come with a very, very nice carry box. You want to keep that, and if you need to tote these from place to place, they need to go back in the carry box to be protected. Again, you want to protect the registry, protect the cutting mechanism, and all of those good things. So these are the Cutterpillars, Cutterpillar Crop, having the shorter base here, but being much more portable for crops and things like that. And then Cutterpillar Pro. Cutterpillar Pro is a great desktop variety. Both of these are probably safe enough that they could be used by children, but I really don't recommend it. Certainly not unsupervised. You have to watch their little fingers. There is some shielding that goes on here with the blade, but it's not full. And so there's some potential that fingers could get where they shouldn't be, and an accident could happen, and none of us certainly want that. Again, remember that you may want to buy the press and seal ruler tape to mark it. That will ease in seeing those markings in the back, although I don't find them that hard to view. If your eyes are giving you a little bit more trouble, the light is really going to help you to make these beautiful straight cuts. Great, great machine. I know that you'll love it. So take a look at the Cutterpillar Pro and the Cutterpillar Crop on the Cut at Home website. I think that you'll appreciate either one of the models actually for your craft room. Thanks for watching. Bye.